do you feel it's going to affect, Cuban Americans in Miami and kind of South Florida as a whole as being kind of like the tipping off point for a lot of these policies?
I think people who are my age, who have more distant connections to the island, like we might have some family there, or we may have been born there and brought over as very small children, or I think that the opening of relations with Cuba will eventually lead to a closer relationship, for us economically and politically with the island. I think there's definitely going to be a lot of travel. Although I did read recently that Cuban Americans have to be very careful when traveling to Cuba, because the government is not exactly acting the way it does with tourists. But I think that, if there is increased travel, there's definitely going to be more of a connection. You can't really feel strongly. I mean, in essence, before I traveled to Cuba, I always felt a close kinship to the island and the culture, and because my mother was raised there, and I knew about it theoretically. It was a place that existed in my head, through her stories, and but I think I didn't really realize as much. I mean, once I visited the place, it was more concrete to me. So I think that that's, being able to physically go there, being able to see the people, being able to talk to people, being able to see what's happened to the country, is going to make you care more deeply about it than if you just read about it in the newspaper. Like, it's not that I don't care about Togo, I do deeply, but not in a way that I would if I actually visited the island nation of Togo, right? So that's a significant thing. I think also large numbers of people who have come since Mariel, this very recent wave of immigrants who've come over either through rafts or through like third countries, they have never had a separation from the island. Like, they're still there, either emotionally, or they're still there because they visit so often that for them there isn't that sort of wall of separation that happens at my mother's generation or even in mine. So I think that going forward, that's only going to become stronger. That sort of sense of interconnectedness, of wanting to hear Cuban artists play here, of wanting to, travel back to the island to see like somebody for their birthday, or that's actually going to continue, and that would only lead to stronger connections overall. So I think for South Florida, more interconnectivity with the island. I think if they bring back this ferry that they've been talking about from the Key, that's going to be a huge tourist boom. I mean, who wouldn't want to take their car with them to Cuba if they have the opportunity to do so? You drive your car to the Key, you drive onto the ferry, and a few hours you're in Cuba driving your own car. I mean, that's something makes it sort of like traveling to Mexico, right? Crossing the border. So if they bring that, then I think that it'll just become more robust, the connection. So that's sort of my thought on that.